Hello. Hi. This is Cozy. I'll be honest with you. I'm still quite new to stand-up. I only got into it recently because I thought it might be a fun way to meet new people, maybe make some new friends because I don't have many friends. So some people owe at that, but that's okay. You guys are heartless. That's fine. But no, I do have some friends. You know, I have 1, 2, 3 friends. I don't want to brag, but until recently, I had 4 friends. So, but then my mum died, so back down to 3. Is that too much? I'm sorry, it was a bit much, wasn't it, for a Sunday? But if it makes you feel better, though, my mum did have a very dark sense of humor, so she's up there now, looking down, absolutely thrilled that I'm exploiting her death for some cheap laughs, so don't worry about it. I've been trying to get out and date a little bit more, though, and it's going terribly. Thanks for asking. The other day, a guy on Tinder called me boring. That was his man. He said, "You look boring." And I was like, "Do you know what, Dave? You got me. I am boring." I'm a little bit boring. But it's only because instead of a personality, God gave me massive tits instead. So it's fair enough, innit? You don't need a personality. Just do that. It's easy. But you know, people think that having big boobs is this great, amazing thing. And I'll be honest with you. It is. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's so much fun. But, you know, with most things, there are good and bad things. I haven't had eye contact from a man in about 15 years. But there are some bad things as well. You know, I forget how far they stick out sometimes. So sometimes I'll open doors kind of into them, which isn't great. But it's usually the fridge door, and I have a little snack, so it's not too bad. It's fine. But I was watching Forrest Gump the other day. Have you guys seen Forrest Gump? It's a very good film, right? There was one bit that really upset me because there's a bit in it where he goes, "I am not a smart man." I can't do the accent. He says, "I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is." And it got to me because, at that point, I realized that I am the opposite of Forrest Gump because I am a relatively smart woman, but I do not know what love is because when a guy texts me at 2 a.m. saying, "You up?" I'm like, oh, he can't sleep because he's thinking of me. He loves me. No, he doesn't. My friends, though, God bless them, they try and tell me that I'm still single because I'm too picky. Spoiler alert, fellas, I'm not picky at all. Just by the way. But my problem is I get the ick very easily. You know about the ick? You know about the ick with that hair, don't you? That was mean. I'm so sorry. You're the only person I can see. I can't see. I'm so sorry. That's me. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. What was your name? Andy. Andy. No. Andy. That's how I say it. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, that went well. I'm so sorry. Anyway. I get the ick very easily. I also give the ick as well, so it's fine. But I got the ick once because a guy texted me good night by saying that he was going to go catch some Z's. Blocked, right? I got the ick once because I went for a drink with a guy and he ordered milk. Thank you. And what made it worse is he took a big gulp and he went, ooh. Blocked. But the worst one was a guy that I met on Hinge, but he lived quite far away, but we talked every day for 2 months. And then eventually he got the train to North Wales, where I live. And when I went to pick him up, within about 3 seconds, ick. I got the ick that quick. Because he did this thing, right, where he hopped off the pavement with both feet at the same time. But he did a little wave with it. So I'll show you how I did it. I'll have to hold them down. Hang on. So I did. Ooh, ick, right? I'm so sorry. And it was such a shame because 2 months worth of work down the drain because before his little feet had touched the ground, I was bone dry. There was nothing going on. And this made it awkward because he traveled far, do you know what I mean? So I did have to fuck him. I'm joking. I'm a lady. It was just a blowjob. Andy's hating this. I'm so sorry. It'll be over soon. No, it won't. But even my ex, though, he'd give me the ick sometimes. And what I did, I started making a list just so that if we broke up, I could remember the shit times and not just the good times. Do you know what I mean? I think it's sensible. My friends calls it psychotic, but what do they know? Do you want to know what's on the list? Good, because I got nothing else to tell you. They're just like small things that would just get on my nerves, you know? Like, I didn't like the way he breathed. I hated the way he, like, kept doing it, you know? I was like, stop! Number 2, he always walked like he'd shit his pants. It's hard to describe. To his credit, he never did shit his pants, so there's that. But that's the only good thing I can say about him. People are like, what kind of guy was Mike? I was like, well, he never shit his pants, so there's that. Number 3, he was... listen, I don't have a problem with ginger people. Like, I dated one for 4 years, just by the way. But he was a weird kind of ginger, though, because he got, like, more ginger the further down you went. Do you know what I mean? It's like his hair was, like, brown, his beard was a bit auburn, and then his pubes were bright red. It was mad. That's not what I wrote on the list, though. That was fine. But I did write, think of your future children, because, like, if I had babies with this man, they'd get fat and poor eyesight from me. You add on to that ginger and asthmatic, that's a lot for one kid, isn't it? It's too much, I think. The last thing that was on the list was that this man, he didn't know who Anne Frank was. You know who Anne Frank is, right? Yeah, of course. Thank you. You'd expect. Yeah. That's what I said. And when I tried to explain to him, he went, oh, is she that feminist woman? And I was like, and she probably was a feminist, but I don't think that's what she's mainly known for. And then he sat there Googling the Holocaust. And at that point, I was like, I need to start writing these down. There's too many now. And a week after that, he broke up with me. Can you imagine? And he can. He's like, yep. So I probably sound quite like bitter and angry now, and I am. He can absolutely get fucked. But I think the whole thing is like a lesson in, you know, karma and patience, because last week he got a new dog, and just the other day the dog took a big shit on his bed. So I just enjoy thinking that while he's scraping dog shit off his duvet, I'm getting paid to tell strangers about his ginger pubes. So who's the real winner? Do you know what I mean? But it's fun. Dating is fun, though. If your idea of fun is getting sent pictures of dicks you didn't ask for. And weirdly, debating whether pineapple belongs on a pizza. I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but boring men, they'll put in their Tinder bios, they're like, pineapple on pizza, thoughts? And listen, I don't have any. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. Like, who gives a shit what you have in your pizza? What do you have in your pizza? That was aggressive. I don't know why I started. I'm just trying to give Andy a break. Like, I'm so sorry. What was your name? Ian. Ian? Do you think about it? Would you like pineapple on your pizza? Yeah, have it then, but let's not have a big discussion about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? What you have on your pizza is your own business. Maybe mention if you're a Tory. That I'd need to know, but I don't care about pizza. Do you know what I mean? I feel really bad about that. I'm sorry I shouted at you. I didn't mean to. I'll be honest, I got my period the other day. I won't go into too much detail, don't worry. But I was having like really bad cramps, and I was like, oh God, this uterus. I don't know. But then I realized that, you know, women have like a uterus and a womb and ovaries, all these things that men don't have. And I was like, well, what do men keep here instead? And that's when I realized that this is where men keep the audacity. They just have, it's right next to the fucking nerve that some of them just seem to have, don't they? But I'll give you a quick example of a guy having the fucking nerve, right? Because I don't really go on dates like find a boyfriend these days. I see it as more of like a public service I provide my married friends. Do you know what I mean? Because if they're going through a rough patch, I'm like, well, stick with it, because there's fuck all else out here. There's nothing. And they complain about really stupid things like, oh, but he keeps leaving his dirty pants on the floor. I'm like, well, pick him up. Pick him up. Do you know what I mean? Well, I tell you about the last date I had with a guy who lives in a van and proudly told me about the time he ate a gecko. Now, why the fuck would he eat a gecko, right? Good question. Thank you for asking. I'll tell you. Apparently, it was when he lived in Australia, and over there, geckos will walk into the house a little bit like spiders do over here. One day, he got curious, as you do, hit one with a broom, cut its head off, fried it in soy sauce, and ate it. And I said, you fried it in soy sauce? And he had the fucking nerve to look at me like I was crazy. And he said, well, I'm not going to eat it plain, am I? But the worst part about that story is that after he told me that, I went on 2 more dates with him. And then he ended it with me. So, fellas, that's how much of a catch I am. That man will eat an actual lizard, but he won't eat my... Forget it. I'm so sorry, Andy. Thank you for listening. My name's Caryl.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.